Did you know that some of the top children's books on Etsy are doing over $10,000 a month off of one single listing? The best part about this product opportunity on Etsy is, one, there is a print-on-demand way that you can make this. This is print-on-demand. That means that when I get a sale for this, I don't actually have to touch the product. This gets fulfilled by my production partner, and then my production partner sends it directly to my customer. And that print-on-demand provider integrates directly with Etsy. Number two is that this is an evergreen product. So people are having babies all year round. That means it's going to sell well all year round. Specifically, you're going to see your sales spike during the holiday season. Number three, the competition is relatively low. It's actually really low, surprisingly. And I think it's because people think that they don't know about the print-on-demand version of this. And they think it's like way harder than it actually is. Guys, I made this myself, and I'm going to show you exactly how in this video. And finally, the reason why I'm obsessed with this product opportunity, like, look how cute this is. Not only is the competition low, but the profit margins are high. So historically, usually in print-on-demand, you're looking at a 10 to 20% profit margin before marketing. So before you factor in ads to scale your listing, this is trailing a 40+% profit margin percentage before marketing, right? So that leaves a lot of room to market the product and scale it to the max. And there's endless types of stories that you can create. All right, guys, so part one of this is how I found this product opportunity, right? So I came in here and I just started a broad search. So I just knew I was interested in the baby niche. So I typed in baby just to see what are some of the top products performing on Etsy for the keyword baby. Then I wanted to filter by a little bit more expensive products because I don't really like selling low ticket. So I put $20 in here. And I also only wanted to look at products that were popular in the last 24 hours. So this badge here means that they're making a lot of sales in the last 24 hours. So they've proven sales. So they have a badge that says something like this, right? You can see 12 sold in the last 24 hours, 19 sold. And so I was just sorting through this by price and what are the top products. And a lot of these products coming back were not print-on-demand products. So a lot of these products that you actually have to purchase with a production partner and then do your personalization request on top of them, or they were just completely, handmade products that was just not what I was looking for. So I wanted to find something that was in the print-on-demand space. So then I thought of, okay, what if I typed in personalized baby book? And I got back a bunch of ideas. And at the time, I wasn't even sure if there was a print-on-demand provider that was doing books, but I actually found one, which you'll see later on in this video, all of that information and how to set that up. So I typed in personalized baby books, and you can see the first one here is doing over $11,000 a month with 20 add to carts, right? So I really like both of those filter. The 20 plus add to carts is different than the N add to carts, because 20 plus means that the minimum amount of carts it's sitting in is 20. And popular in the last 24 hours is obviously something like this, like 6 sold in the last 24 hours, right? So when I click on this one here, some of the more information we get, right? So 20 add to carts, right? They have different options for softcover, hardcover, right? The top one is going up to $47, right? And it's a Goodnight Emma book. Here's another one that has 20 add to carts, right? When we view it on Etsy, right? It's another book from the same company. And another really cool thing that I like to look at is average order value, right? So there's something here called average order value. This is on average how much people are spending on the listing. So even though the front end price is $20, the AOV is $37. And in business, you're always trying to optimize for higher average order value. You're trying to get your product to list, like historically, get people to spend more money on your listing. And the way that you do that is by having a drop-down menu of upsells, right? So people see the front end price of 19, but right, there's always a percentage of people that want the most expensive thing and are going to spend the most money. Second part of this was finding the print provider that actually will make me something of quality and be really, really easy to work with. And so the company that I found, and I searched high and low, I thought about going with Lulu, all these different ones, but the only one that was really, really easy and integrates with Etsy already was Gelato. So they had something called a hardcover photo book, and they also have a softcover photo book. And at first I didn't think it was going to work because I was like, oh, It's, it's more of like a photo book, but it actually works. See, 8x8 and 11x11. So now I needed to actually write this book. And again, I have never written a book. I am not an author. So I used ChatGPT. I wrote, I want to sell personalized baby books on Etsy. Write me an entire book and leave blanks where the personalized can be made for their name. Make it a bedtime book. I obviously am just doing this really quickly, right? And it wrote me the first iteration. Now, one of the things that was really important is that I didn't want it to be gender specific, because if it's a boy or girl or whatever, I just wanted it to be a unisex book, which that is actually another idea, to make it gender specific, make the animals gender specific, or even have your designer to design it like that, because you could potentially even charge more money for that further customization. But I didn't want to do that. So I just said, I want to keep the visuals of the child unisex, so I do not have to make a boy or girl. So describe the visuals on each page, where each page could showcase family members, but as animals. For example, a lion could be a unisex baby lion, right? And so I'm having him not only write the book, but give the instructions for the visual for the designer. So a cozy animal bedroom scene featuring a baby lion with golden fur, soft, sleepy eyes sitting on the edge of a bed, right? So it's describing what that scene should be for each page. And this is what I submitted. All this script is what I submitted to the actual designer. So now I'm going to show you really quick how I found that designer to help me bring this book to fruition. All right, now before we start setting this up in Gelato, we have to actually create the storybook. So the book that I did, again, is 8x11, right? And you can see the price here. You can also see how the price will change if you pay for a monthly subscription with Gelato. That could be worthwhile and something to consider as you start making more sales. But they also have a hardcover and a softcover book. So I would actually sell both options in your listing so that you can have a tier of upsells. And the softcover is obviously a little bit cheaper. So what I did now moving forward, right, because now we actually need to make this book come to fruition. The next part of this is I can't draw I probably could if I tried, but I've never drawn before. So I went and I hired a designer. So I went to Fiverr.com and I actually typed in someone that illustrates for children's books. And this is actually the person that I found here. He is a top rated designer. So I actually hired this guy. He told me that I could share his profile publicly, and I actually worked with him. I really liked his style of drawings. It's like that whimsical look, but you can find a lot of other people. So illustration for children's books. Right? So you can find a bunch of different designer options here. A lot of these people only designs, they'll make like a single illustration. So it was important that I found someone that would do an entire children's book. And yeah, I mean, there's cheaper ones, more expensive ones, but I would say the key with hiring a designer here, obviously Fiverr makes it super easy, but you just want to be very descriptive on what you want. So I will show you the exact conversation I had and what I sent him in order to make this come to fruition. Basically, before I hired him, I came here and I clicked on contact me so I could send him a message that clearly outlined my specific requirements. And this guy just nailed it head on. Initially, I was reaching out to him to design for a Lulu book, but then Lulu was just not a good option because basically they don't integrate with Etsy. So every time I would have to manually fulfill it myself. So I really like Gelato just because it actually integrates. So once I decided on Gelato, he actually asked me these questions. So he gave me different options for the style. So he had different design style options. So he actually sent me this so I could pick out what type of look and feel I wanted. Right. So I chose the Bear and Friends, but there's like this one more colorful. Yeah, he gave me all these different options of what I wanted, but overall I chose basically the first one that was more, I would say, more whimsical feel. He also asked me, will the illustrations be single pages or double pages? So on the Gelato books, you have to do a minimum of 30 pages. So your book has to be 30 pages. If I just grab this, you can kind of see me here on the screen. But basically what I had him do is I had one page is technically 2 pages. So one page, if you can see here, is technically 2 pages. It sounds like a lot, but actually because one whole page here was just like one, like there was only writing on one side, you could read the book actually really fast. So it's not like you have 30 pages of just reading this to your kid a storybook. So that was a requirement as well. I sent him the script and then I broke down what I want each page to have. So one thing that was really important that I liked was that On the inside cover here, which I'll show you this again later. I don't know if you can actually see it, but the person, because someone is probably giving this as a gift. So the person giving the gift of the book can sign the interior page that it's from a loved one or something like that. So I basically sent him all these requirements. Basically, the only other thing is in the requirements, I sent him all of these information so he could clearly size everything properly. And what you're going to want to make sure the designer does, if you do sell all these different variations, you're going to want to make sure that they design reformat free versions of it for each size, which a designer should be able to do that very, very easily, and they should be experienced enough to know how to do that. Then once you hire somebody in Fiverr, you can keep track of all of the details inside of here. So you can see when the order was placed, and then all your interactions move from Messenger to your orders. So if I come in here and go to orders, you can see all of my orders from the past, right? And you can keep track of the project every step of the way. So he basically would send me what he worked on so far, and then I would give him feedback. So it was really, really simple. So the important thing with these personalized books is that I had him create me a template. So whenever I get an order, I can just add their name in here. So he actually gave me that template back. So every single time I get an order, all I have to do is just change the name there and make the personalization request, and just basically change the main cover of the book. If you're somebody that sells like print-on-demand shirts, with personalization, it's the same thing that you have to do with Printify or Printful, right? If you're selling like a mom shirt with a name on it, like it's the same thing. It's just in a book version. I even had him send me instructions on how to do the personalization request because I had no experience in actually working with the tool that he used, because he didn't use Canva, which I'm sure you can find designers that do work in Canva. But here is the video. He sent me back the template version, or basically do this right in the Adobe Photoshop link that he sends me. And so watch, you just basically click the name, you click on the Frankie, and then you go ahead and you change the text and you erase it. So when you are hiring somebody, you just want to make sure that they send you a templated version, ideally with the font and everything already loaded. So literally when you get a sale, all you have to do is just change that text, download the file, and then put it into Gelato. The next thing that we need to do is we need to get this set up in Gelato. So you're going to go to stores and you're going to connect your Etsy shop. Now, once we do this, because we want to be able to offer, just like our competition in one listing, right? We want to be able to offer the softcover and the hardcover in one drop-down menu. We're actually going to go ahead and set up the listing from Etsy, not from Gelato, and then we're going to connect it to Gelato on the back end. All right, so we're going to start setting this up. We're going to do children's books, right? And we are going to go ahead. It's a physical item, another company or person, a finished product. When was it made? Made to order. And obviously you're going to need to select a production partner, which your production partner would be Gelato. And now we're going to build out this listing just like we build out a normal Etsy listing. So keywords, people get really fixated on keywords, and keywords are really the icing on the cake. It's a matter of going to ChatGPT and saying something like this: I am selling a personalized kids book on Etsy. Write me a title, tags, and descriptions with all possible keyword product fit words, right? So basically, what is this doing, right? So there's only so many ways for you to describe the thing that you're selling. And so people get really stressed out. They think they're doing something wrong, and you're not. If you're having a low traffic or low sales problem, 95% of the time, it's not because of keywords. That energy should go into optimizing that image in your video and the storytelling, right? As long as you have all of the words, you have custom book, personalized book, kids, children, baby book, like all the different ways that you could describe the product that you're selling, which AI can do for you, right? Then it's not a matter of keywords as long as you have it in your listing. It's either you messed up something with the actual product or the design or something like that. So keywords are really, really easy, and you're going to do that for your title and tags and description. Your description should obviously have the specs, right? You have an 8x8, an 8x11, a hardcover, softcover, all that stuff. Same thing with your images. So if we look at the data, so if we look at what's working, right? So this guy is obviously the top one at $11,000 per month. When we look at the listing, there's a key difference between, say, this one and one of these other ones that's also performing really great, but it has a white background photography and plain images, right? So So historically, we know that flat white backgrounds can work. So obviously it's working, but they will normally underperform something like this. This is called a lifestyle image. So it's as simple as taking your cell phone with a kid and taking this picture. Like this will still outperform this every single day. So yes, this is working, but this is not a standard. This is an opportunity to compete when you see this, because you could split test this main image multiple times with a young baby, with a toddler, right? All of these different things to compete, right? And I even took a picture of my own on my cell phone. An image like this, like I literally took this on my cell phone, right? My nail is broken. I would take off the bracelet, but even something like this is more engaging than something like this with just a white background. So something like that, right? And so I would implore you to really try to take your own product photography. Same thing with a video. Like even if you have a video just like this, it's super, super simple on your iPhone. But again, this is still not even that. Like I took a video on my iPhone, right? Flip the book to show the quality. You can do this very, very simple, but also I would, try to be creative with it, right? So this one, her nails are done. It's not being held in one hand. She has the camera more stable, right? She's showing the inside of the book. So I would consider doing something a little bit more proper like that. So here is the title that ChatGPT wrote me. I had it separate keyword phrases by commas, and I had it try to not repeat keywords. So you don't need to repeat keywords in the title, right? Because that's just taking up space. You only need to put the word in there once, so it's not taking up a keyword slot for the title. So here is our title. I would perfect this, obviously make it more specific. Again, the winning is that you're including all of the words, right? So you have bedtime story, children, kids, toddler, all the different ways that you could describe this. Gift, baby shower. Then we're going to add our video, images. Now, obviously, images are absolutely everything. I did this on my phone, but if you have a better camera, I would do it on the camera. Cool. So we want to always make sure that the main image is centered, right? Like this is off-centered, right? If you don't have a perfectly centered picture for your product, that can date the product and actually make it seem like worse quality. So if this was like crooked like that or something like that, that's really detrimental because you only get 1 second to earn that click. You also want to make sure that it's completely zoomed in and it's illuminated. So this is really illuminated in the sun, but if there was a shadow over this, making it a slightly darker, that could lose your click as well. But also this is subject to test. So I would test this out, split test this in a couple of different environments. I wouldn't just, limit it to this. And we also want to look at those top competition, right? So what are they doing in their listing, right? Obviously they're doing it with a baby, which is performing really good, right? You can see how their video looks, right? You can see their 5-star reviews, right? They're using a lot of graphics that help just sell a lot, help sell, right? So like another value proposition, right? This one says there's a personalization here, but we have that second page that they can sign their name. So that's a selling point. Anything that helps you sell this thing the most is going to help you a lot. And you want to fill out all of these 10 slots. So we're going to go ahead and add our variation options. We need to do our cover type. Let's go. Link the photo, the variations. We have a hard cover, right? And then we also have a second variation option, which is the size. And we want to also link the photos to it so we can clearly show what it is. So we have 8x8. I think we had 8x11. And I would also put inch there to make it even more clear. And there was one other size option. I don't remember it. Let's just say it's 11x11. And of course, we want to make it inch so it's just more clear, right? So now we have the prices vary, the quantity can be the same, and the SKUs, we don't need that. So now we have all these different variation options. We can go ahead and price our products accordingly. And eventually with Gelato, like I said, you can upgrade to a monthly plan to save a few dollars. So you can see that it drops from $7.69 to $6.76 if you want to upgrade eventually. But in the beginning, it's going to be $7.69. So if we actually do the calculation on, let's say we use our Profit Tree Chrome extension, the pricing calculator, if we make it $19.99 and we charge, say, $4.25 for shipping, right? And then the cost is $7.69. The shipping cost, let's just say it's $4.25. Right? Let's just calculate here. So our total profit is going to be about $9.55. So that is actually really good. That's a little bit, that's about 50% profit. So we actually can compete at the $9.99 mark. So let's just do that for the soft cover on the smallest size. So it'll be $19.99. And so you want to shoot for, I would say, a 50 to 40% profit if it's possible. It's okay if not all of your variation options can do that, but I'm just going to fill this in for now. But you do want to try to get at least a 40% profit, 50% profit if you can. And again, that's what's really cool about this product opportunity is that that is possible. Other things, you're going to just want to fill out as much attributes, your tags, your materials, everything that you can as best as possible. And then we're going to go ahead and publish this listing. Looking at the listing now, actually in my shop, this is actually pretty dull. It's something to test, but I would actually do something that illuminates this even more, right? I would even test this background to make it a little bit brighter. Maybe it's more of a white texture. Now that it's published on Etsy, we can come into our store here inside of Gelato and we can click on our store. Here is that product. The beige background is still showing. So we can go ahead and connect product to Gelato. So now we are going to sync this to our product. So we're going to sync it here. We're going to go hardcover photo book and we are going to sync the number of pages, the different size options that we have, and we are going to go ahead and add our designs here, right? We're going to add the inside page and we need to remember we have to do this for each size. So I'm on the 8x11, right? We're going to just go ahead and put on our images for the product. Now, remember, we actually can leave the cover off because remember, this is going to get changed when we do the personalization. But for the video, we can just leave it there. And then we're going to go ahead and add this one here. Once you finish one size, you're going to hit this button here. So this is going to lock it, right? So you can see on the other sizes, it's showing, but it's not sized proportionally. So what we want to do is we want to size it with the right size images that the designer made for us and then put them in here and then lock it. So now you can see if I lock this one, right? And then I change this one to really big, right? This one's not locked, but these two are locked. And I go back, this one's still locked at this size. So you're going to want to size it for each size proportionally and continue. And we can skip the mockups because we don't need it. This is where we're going to connect it to that listing. So the $19.99 hardcover. So we're going to go ahead and find the 8x8, the 8x11, and the 11x11, right? And then we need to do the soft cover as well. So now let's continue to prices and we are going to go ahead and fill up our retail prices and we're going to publish. So if I change the price of the 8x11, say we want to make that $49.99, we're going to go ahead and publish that. So now these variation options are linked to our actual Etsy listing. And remember how we changed the price from Gelato? Now you can see the hardcover price is changed here. So now if we get a sale for any of the hardcover ones, that sale will show inside of Gelato. But remember, we still have to sync the soft cover. So we're going to still grab it here. So the photo updated, we're going to go ahead and connect the other products. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it for the soft cover. We're going to do our 30 pages. We're going to choose all of our different size options here, and we are going to go ahead and edit them. So we'll start with the 8x11, since that's the right size, right? Again, the front image is just a placeholder. We're going to end up changing it. We have the inside cover, and then we have our other pages that we're going to put in here. And again, once we finish the whole book, we are going to lock it. So this is for the 8x11. It's centered, and now we're going to lock it, and then we can do the 8x8. So again, if I make this very small, I can lock it, right? And then if I make this one very big, right, it doesn't change the 8x8. So we're going to size it for all three options, continue to mockups, skip the mockups, and now we are going to sync it. So now we are going to sync it to our Etsy other variation options. So we have the 8x8, which is this one. We actually don't have an Oh, we have the 8 by 11. The third size in the small was actually 11 by 11, but I put 11 by 11, but the size is actually 5 by 5. So this is actually wrong, but you get the point. So then we do the same thing and we can change the price according to profit here. So 99. So we can go the 8 by 8. Let's just make it 29 so you can see what happens, right? And now we're going to hit publish. So you can see it's updating here. So we are just waiting. Cool. So now we can select softcover and the option is it's $26.99 because there's a discount running. But if we click on the listing, it updated the price accordingly. So now, yes, you can see the one option is $29.99. Again, you want to make these prices actually correct. And what you want to make sure that you do is to go into your stores here and click on your store and make sure that you in your settings have manually a personalized orders with automated Etsy personalization. So you want to make sure that it doesn't automatically start getting filled. You actually need to manually fulfill it since there's a personalization request. We have these two test orders here. You can see this one here says refused because it's not going to go through until we actually fix it. So it's saying that there's a payment issue, but watch what happens when we fix it. So we're going to edit the product here. And we are going to, remember, we're going to change out that main image. So we're going to click on edit. So right before you print it, this is where you would go ahead, you would delete this main cover and you would choose the new file with the one that has the name that's edited. So we would do that, right? And of course you have all your other pages already loaded here. And then you hit save, continue to shipping, make sure all the shipping is correct, pick the shipping carrier. And okay, now I would go ahead and make a payment. Now I don't have any money in the account, so I would need to go ahead and add the credit card details. As soon as this is processed, this is going to go ahead and get shipped to my Etsy shop. Now, finally, these are still pending because obviously I didn't purchase it, but once you complete the purchase, this payment will go through, this will start getting fulfilled, and this will automatically complete the order in Etsy. So your Etsy item will actually move from open order to shipped. So you don't have to do anything on the Etsy side. It's all done for you. But guys, this is a conclusion of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We have the links down below to Gelato, to Fiverr, to all of the tools that we talked about in today's video. I think this is an absolutely insane product opportunity. It's a little bit higher barrier to entry, but overall still really, really easy and going to set you apart for the long haul. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one.